Hi,
Hi, Anand.
hi. Why?
Hello, everyone. I'm Natasha Doshi, and welcome to another episode of Sapna Rise. We're on season 3 now, and we have a very special guest with us today. We have Mr. Anand Neelakantan, and he is very well known to be associated with the Bahubali series. He's also an author, columnist, a TV screenplay writer, and a brilliant motivational speaker. Welcome, Anand, to Sapna Rise.
Hi. Thank you, Natasha. Thank you, Sapna, also for having me here. Looking forward to the conversation. And thank you for the
So,
kind word.
we are here to discuss your book today, Queen of Mahishmati. So, would you like to tell all of our viewers about the book?
This is the third and concluding part in the Bahubali trilogy. That is
Right.
Bahubali before the beginning. So, as you know, the blockbuster film had two parts. Bahubali the beginning and Bahubali the conclusion. So I was called by the director S.S. Rajamouli sir to write the prequel to this. So this is the official prequel. The three
Wow.
books, Raisa Shivagami, Chaduranga, and the Queen of Mahishmati.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
That's
so this is the
amazing.
final concluding part. This is becoming a Netflix series too.
That's congratulations. That's brilliant.
Thank you.
How does it
So
feel?
it's a big relief actually.
Okay.
Because it is not easy to write for a prequel to a film that is so successful, so iconic. The
Right.
expectations levels will be very high. The fans and books don't have the advantage of films also. Films is a visual extravaganza, especially a film like Bahubali.
Hmm.
And here all you have is just the words. You'll have to create the entire world with your words, and it's not an easy thing, trust me.
That's
So it was
absolutely.
very tough.
How
Was
did you
tough to write?
manage? Sorry.
Yeah, please.
So, I think that pressure must be a lot to carry forward throughout your books because there's already a expectation set because of the movie which has done such numbers and it's done phenomenally well. So how did you actually come up with the whole
Actually, the pressure is more in the sense that it is not just books. These are forming the foundation for a Netflix show, perhaps spanning to 3 or 4 seasons or more than that. So another few hundred crores of rupees are riding on it for the producers who have hired based on what I write on the book. So it is not just like my other books where I write for myself and write what I want. Like Asura, when I just write for without thinking that whether this will be a film, whether this will what people are going to do. All those pressure is not there. Asura, Jaya, Vanara. Incidentally, Vanara also is becoming a film, a feature film soon. But when I am writing, I am not thinking that this is going to be a film. So I don't have that pressure. Here, when I am writing, I have to create new characters. Then I have to have the characters from the movie. They had to behave in a particular way because people know how they behave. So I cannot write anything what I please. Then other characters have to act accordingly. And then I have also to keep in mind that this will be the sets and this will become episodes. So I cannot go and move and create another something else which will incur a lot of what you call the art expenditure, the set expenditure, and other things. So many factors to consider. Perhaps my almost 500 hours of TV writing experience came to help me
con-
to visualize it as a screenplay also as I write. So it was not an easy job, one of the toughest jobs I did with a lot of expectations on my shoulders. And after that, after a time, you think that this is only what you can do. You will do what you can and leave it to the audience to like it or dislike it or the time to decide whether I have done a good job or not. Because if I keep worrying, there is no end to it. So first to second book took a lot of time, 2.5 years it took. But second to third book, I came up with, I was in a flow, so I came up in 3 months, 2 months, I finished it flat, the 560 page book.
wow.
Because you have reached the flow and I have stopped worrying. Whatever, let it come, I wrote it. So the 300 page book took 2 years. The first book was completed in 100 days. The third book, which is much bigger, was completed less than 2 months, actually. And a
Okay.
big thanks to Amazon Westland also, because my editor, she edited it as fast as I was writing. And then the other teams also in the Westland, the cover design came fast. Everything happened so quickly. In 3 months, the book was out. After the second book, proofreading, everything, the entire team worked fantastically. And the distribution team, marketing team, the books reached all the bookshops and all the bookstores like Sapna, who have always been actually, Sapna has published my Kannada works also, the translation of my Asura, Ajay, and all. So I have a long relationship going with Sapna. Right from the time I lived in Bangalore, I was a frequent visitor to the bookstore, and people might not have, because at that time I had not written anything, so I was just another customer. But I used to visit Sapna. I still visit a lot of bookstores. And Sapna always have been, all the years I lived in Bangalore, Sapna was the go-to place.
We're so glad to be associated with you because I think seeing you and the trajectory that your success has shown, I think all of us are very proud. And there's a comment that rightly said, Sir Rajamouli has picked the perfect person to write the books, actually.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. I hope at least many of my readers would have enjoyed the book.
Yeah.
It was a tough job. I have done whatever I could. That's all.
No, in fact, I think what I personally felt about the book is it's so intricate with so many characters. And, it takes a lot of courage to actually build so many characters. So there are no heroes or villains. There's a saying, right? There are only survivors in the book. So, very beautifully narrated. And, at any given point of time, I didn't feel like putting the book down. To stop because I wanted to continue to the next chapter. So it's without giving away too much of the plot, but it is a very, very detailed and very beautifully written book.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Actually, having more characters, my writing style is creating lots of characters, which is a problem, and an advantage and is a disadvantage, because the scale goes up big. So it is very difficult for my books to become films, even though I write very visually. The budget shoots up like anything, which I
Right.
learned later when I came to the screenwriting field. It is always better to write with 2 or 3 characters, tell a story in 2 minutes, 2 hours, and be done with it. Tell a story with the 2 characters facing each other, like many great films I have written. Fortunately for me, the OTT platforms and other things opened up, which helped the bigger storytelling space. So it is not just 2 hours. You have got 60 hours to tell the story, just like a novel. So that is quite exciting, what is happening now. And it is like I'm fortunate to be living in that period and able to write for this kind of platforms because it suits the kind of stories I envisage. I cannot write slice of life stories, or I have not attempted it so far, because my mind works because I'm a history buff, and as you rightly said, I don't believe there are any heroes or villains, but only people and the circumstances. And in history, there are so many characters. So
That's true.
actually, you need a lot of discipline to take only 2 characters and write on it. That's a different kind of skill. For me, the skill is on the scale. That is how I think. So this kind of all my books, if you see, they are larger than life. They are not slice of life, cute, beautiful books which gives a lot of pleasure. I disturb people. I get disturbed while I write, and I disturb people also. I disturb their sleep and I haunt them because my characters haunt me.
There's a lot of depth in your writing, sir.
Thank you so much. I
And
try to reflect life. Hmm?
as you
Yeah.
rightly said, the OTT platforms give you so much creative freedom that it's easy to adapt such intricate works on the screen.
That's all. No, it's all about fortune is what it is about timing. No, I am lucky in the sense that I am writing in this era.
Right.
If it was, say, I was writing 10 years back, I was hitting this peak because every art has an arc. Every artist has an arc. Sometimes you hit the peak. After that, slowly what do you call the stock, you run out of stock. That happens to anyone. That will happen to me, that will happen to any writer. But when I am peaking, when I have just started writing, when I am peaking, I am fortunate that this platform is getting more popular. So I got a lot of projects also in that, which are not originally from the book, but directly which I am writing for. It's a very interesting period. Even films, when they are coming as franchises, like one after one up, same characters again and again you are moving. So some of the film Bollywood things which I am doing are also a part of this kind of franchiseship. So it is like I consider I am living in a very lucky time.
Talking about the book, sir, did Rajamouli sir give you a particular topic, or you picked writing about Shivgami and Mahishmati? Like, was there any context that was set, or was it your choice?
Actually, it so happened, I told it in many other interviews also. Actually, it so happened that he had read my Asura, Ajay and all, and he had liked it. He had called me. He had almost conducted like a test, asking me to write random scenes. And then he liked my writing style, since he understood that perhaps I can do some justice to the great vision he and his father, who was the original writer for the Bahubali films, had. So they wanted to expand this universe. So he gave me the freedom. Only condition he put was that don't make Bijala Deva the hero. Because I have the tendency of making Ravan the hero, Duryodhan the hero, and all. But again, I have cheated. What I have done is, I have not made anybody heroes. I have made every character great, including Kattappa, Shivagami. There is no, and there is no villain. Everyone is justified, including the characters like Patraya that I created. He finally, as the story is ending, I don't want to give away. You find that he also is not a man to be hated or something. He's a hero in his own right. So are all other characters in that. So this perhaps he gave me the freedom. He said that whatever character you want to create, you create, except this condition. Other than that, I was given total freedom. And he asked me to choose which character you want. So again, I didn't want to choose Bahubali, to be frank. Because it will be too difficult. Bahubali is a hero's hero, is a perfect man. Right. And I don't like perfect men, to be frank, to write. That is a kind of writing, like many of the superhero movies are like that, making the hero a perfect man. Including Ramayana, you see, Ram is the Maryada Purushottam. But I was attracted towards Ravan, Indrajit, Bali, and this kind of characters, or even Lakshman for that matter, more than Ram. Not as a religious person or anything I am telling. Ram as a god is separate, Ram as a character is separate. So these are two different things. So I didn't want to do it with Bahubali. So in the film, who is the grey character, not the dark character? Grey character is Shivagami, who can command her favorite slave to kill her own son.
Yeah.
Or the adopted son, the son she loved most. That is power politics. That is the play of power. In history, suddenly you find this kind of powerful women who are rumored to have ordered the death of their sons. In recent history, I'm not talking about ancient history, in recent Indian history also. I hope you might have understood who I am alluding to.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to spell it out, but these are all the things which are fascinating about history, about life. So Shivagami, I modeled on this kind of characters.
Okay.
And Kattappa is the one who, being so affectionate to Bahubali, is able to stab him from behind. So these two characters, I decided that I should pull them in, and the rest, I made other characters worse than them so that they look heroic.
Okay.
Not by making them so good, but by making them what they are, keeping them what they are, and bringing other characters who are more devious, more cunning, more trying to do the power struggle, and creating 2 or 3 characters for contrast, like Mahadeva and Skandadasa as the idealist, who ultimately end up in a fate that how all idealists end up in life. I tried to play with it. It's like playing with the colors. When you paint, you make something dark by making something else, make something light by making something around it darker. The same way I played up.
But I think was it complex to write about Shivgami, considering the different facets and considering that you're portraying her a little ahead of time and the expectation that was already set from the movie and her character that was shown? So, sketching these characters based on basis of the movie, was it difficult for you?
As I say, it's very tough. Writing a book itself is tough. Writing a book based on a movie is tough. Writing a book based on a movie like Bahubali is super tough.
Yeah,
And writing it with so many characters is really tough. But that is the fun of writing, no?
that's
If
true.
it is easy, if I wanted an easy life, I would have rather rewritten Ramayana from Ram's perspective, making Lord Ram speak in today's English and write it. Or make Krishna as a hero and write Mahabharata, Krishna and Arjuna as a hero, and just make them speak in today's lingo and write it.
Right.
What is tough, why I loved the challenge is what? I wanted to see it from the other side. Challenge what has been taught to for the last 4,000, 5,000 years. Tell the same story, but tell it in a different way and try to convince the people that maybe this also could have happened.
Right.
So as a writer, as an artist, that challenges me. Whether I succeeded in that or not, that is not in my hands to decide. But I can choose my topics well. I took that risk because I love to take that risk. I wanted to see Ramayana from the perspective of Ravan, Mahabharata from the perspective of Duryodhan. And again, another story, Bali as the hero. So, and many things, many times I have experimented, like with Siya Ke Ram, the series I did. I tried telling it from the perspective of Sita, from a woman's perspective, which is again challenging as a man. It's very challenging to go get into the mind of women because I am yet to, after 19 years of marriage and 20 years of knowing my wife, even now I have no clue what she thinks most times, like any other, any other male. Or my daughter, who is 17 now, I don't know what she's thinking. Or my sister, or when my mother, she was alive. It's an enigma. You can only try to guess, and most often you will be wrong. So writing from the women's perspective was a challenge. But if I'm not able to, if I don't take challenge, what is the fun in it? Because I'm not writing it just for commercial purpose. And whatever paths I have chosen are all tough paths. Some have succeeded, some have failed, but everything has been every bit enjoyable.
Speaking about mythology, I think you were among the first to start writing mythology in India at the very beginning, I think almost 12 years ago. And those were the first sets of steps taken towards this entire genre because it was a huge risk that was taken. And even today, you happen to be the most profound writer of mythology. So, what do you think of this genre in India, and do you think it is developing now?
No, mythology, or I will prefer to use the name Puranas. These are the tales which have been with the Indians for last how many thousand years, in how
Right.
many languages. Mahabharata has 1,200 odd variations and countless stories, which are not only in some parts of the country, some stories are available. Lakhs of stories are there from Mahabharata. Same with Ramayana, with more than 300, 400 versions of Ramayana, and partial Ramayana, if you take, it's more than 3,000 versions of it. So, and every language, when it comes of age, they start with Puranas. So, I try to read either from the original language, 3, 4 languages I can speak, some I can understand. If somebody speaks it, I cannot read it. Like Kannada, I cannot read it, but I can understand it well because Kannada and a part of Tulu, many of my work is inspired from Kathakali and Yakshagana,
That's beautiful.
many of my mythology. So through that, I had learned some part of Kannada. So my Kannada is Kannada and Tulu, a part of it, because I lived in North Kerala, South Karnataka part for quite some time. So I can understand it. Unfortunately, I cannot speak it well. I can manage if I can know the way, get out and all, but I cannot give a speech on it. Tamil I can understand, and I am learning to read now. Malayalam, of course, being mother tongue, I can read. Hindi, I know. Sanskrit, somewhat I know. English, I know. But apart from that, many languages I can understand. So through now, one of the things which I do is through Audible and Storytel and various kind of audio medium. I'm able to listen to the stories in their original languages, whether it is Kannada or Telugu or Marathi, or I can make out somewhat. What is wonderful is there are so many classics in all these languages. For example, one of the fascinating book from Kannada is Bhairappa's Parva. So fascinatingly written. Even the old Kannada classic, such a great classic, Gadayuddha of
Right.
Pampa. So this kind of books in Marathi there is there, Malayalam it is there, Tamil, Bengali, Meghanada Batagavya, translation only read, Odia, Assamese. India is so rich in so much culture. Even the books from Malaysia, Indonesia, and all, which comes as a different Ramayanas. So every language has it. Why it is getting visibility is because the youth is reading in English. So a few books are coming in English. A lot of people are writing in English, including me. So we think that, okay, mythology is becoming a big thing. It was always a big thing. It is the heart and soul of India. Only thing is English, Indian English as a language is coming of age, and it is adopting like any other language when they were coming of age, these stories to it. And some are fantastic stories, some are mediocre, but that is how all language develop.
That's interesting to hear.
I think I bored you with a long answer.
No, not at all, sir. Not at all. It was very interesting to hear your perspective on this. Speaking of the book, sir, I think I would really like to ask you who's your favorite character from the entire book?
In Bahubali series, my favorite character would be Jimuta
Okay.
in the entire book, because he is a character who is like a wild card. He came just like that to me. So he is what do you call? He's a man, a genius, a crook, and the most intelligent man in the entire, intelligent human being in that entire universe, story universe, among everyone. Though there are very other characters who are idealists, who are much nobler characters and all. This man is a genius who never gets his due. So that character fascinated me, and I didn't write him. He wrote me actually. He ran away with whatever he wanted.
Yeah. But I think throughout the storytelling of the book also, the whole Gauri Parvat, the whole scene over there, what do you think was the toughest chapter to write in this entire, especially this particular book, The Queen of Mahishmati, which was the toughest chapter that took the longest?
The toughest chapter which took the longest was actually the final chapters, because I had to wrap it up. And I would have actually given a choice, I would have gone for another 100, 150 pages. But this itself was becoming unviable. 560 is a ton of a book. It falls on your leg, you will break your leg. So that kind of tome it is. I would have preferred to write another 100 pages of it, given a choice. But there are lots of time. We don't have the, what do you call, there are many constraints. So I had to wrap it up, and that made it doubly tough. Given a choice, it should have been another book, one more book.
Right. So would you have written this differently had it not been synced with the movie? The ending
Definitely, it would have been a different story altogether. But that was not the purpose. I was hired to do something. No, I was hired to write this. So it is, but that is one way it is good, because you have to end it there. So it makes you think harder how to make it interesting, because everybody knows the end. You cannot get away with the great writer O. Henry's technique that give a twist, or Agatha Christie's technique, give a twist in the last, and everything is forgiven. So these are all great writers, but it makes, and they have to think hard to bring that twist. One way it is easy also, even though to bring that it is tougher. Now, since I know the ending, the challenge became how to make it interesting. How to make something interesting when you know the ending. But then I had written all the books which everybody knows the ending. Everybody knows Bali dies. Everybody knows Ravan dies. Everybody knows Duryodhan dies. So knowing Duryodhan dies also, if I can write 1,200 page book, I thought, okay, this also I should be able to do it.
But in this series, especially this book, I felt that Bichaladeva's character was portrayed in a completely different light. I think until the middle of the book or towards the end, you do see specks of jealousy across, but we completely see him in a different light here. So you tried to add your element as well.
Every character, including Shivagami and Kattappa, I have tried to, because that is all. That is how you can write. No, if I try to only Vijayendra Prasad sir or Rajamouli can make that Kattappa and that Shivagami. When Anand Nilekanthan write, there will be an element of Anand Nilekanthan in that. If Natasha writes, there will be an element of you in that. Any writer will put their soul into it. So the characters will have, all the characters will have some reflection because they are all coming from your thought process.
Right.
So that is why there will be only attempt was somehow to sync it. And finally I decided, no, I will not sync it. Certain difference I will give it to it. What is not in the film. Certain hints I will give to put my signature. Like when painters do, they put a signature, no? Some hidden mark. So I decided I will put my mark on it just for the my satisfaction. So I changed certain small plot points. For example, left hand is what is paralyzed in the movie. I made it the right hand of Vigila. So these are all the signatures with a, what you call, a kind of the pride or arrogance of an artist, which needs to be there for an author. Because maybe I was thinking perhaps everybody will forget it next year, or perhaps this book will stay for hundreds of years or 200, 300 years. There should be something what people should discuss. No, this is wrong, this is right. That's what we do with Mahabharata. That's what we do with Ramayana. No? Not that I am trying to compete with that and all, but I thought, okay, this is a structure they have followed. They give a slight twist in somewhere or other. Every author, when they write, when they adapt Ramayana or Mahabharata, like Tulsidas Ji has given his own twist. Kambar has given his own twist. So every author, when they are adapting something which is already prevalent, they are given the twist. Like Kalidasa, who gave the twist of signet ring. From Vyasa's Shakuntala, the ring is not there in Vyasa's Shakuntala. Okay. And Dushyanta is a real SOB in Vyasa's Shakuntala. He says, I don't care, I might have had a relationship with you, but you get lost to Shakuntala. Whereas Kalidasa, what he did, he made the king a decent guy. He forgot because of a curse, and for that he brought this ring. So that was the signature of Kalidasa, what he does. So my attempt is a pale imitation within my limitations to do such things. That I twisted a small things and put my signature into that, which was deliberate. Many people wrote to me asking whether you forgot. I wrote them back, it's not forgetting, I deliberately did it. Oh, wow. Because I wanted that somebody will point it out and talk to me, and it becomes a discussion point.
Right.
Otherwise, it is just a contract job, no, which I didn't want it to become.
That's true. What do you feel about Akhila's and Shivgami's character? They're very distinctly opposite from each other, and the love-hate relationship that they share. So what do you comment on their relationship?
Again, it's an imitation of life. You hate, usually if you really keenly observe, your best friend is the one you will be hating the most, and your closest sibling is the one you will be hating the most and loving the most, always. Because these love and hate are two parts of the same coin. Right. Other people with who you are only acquaintances, it is just indifference or it's just courtesy. Right. When do you hate? When there is emotion. And when there is emotion, there is love also. So it was purposefully written like that because otherwise it doesn't have color. Now, if they don't hate each other and love each other, that relationship will not have any depth. So this is how I tried to bring that into it. That was my attempt to do that.
Right. And do you think if not for certain circumstances, Shivgami and Mahadeva would have been a better pair than Shivgami and Vigila?
No. Never.
Why so?
Because Mahadeva is an idealist. Shivgami, they would have divorced, I think, in 2 weeks, perhaps.
Okay.
Vigila and Shivagami are same, if you really see. How they express it only is different. Both are power hungry people.
Yeah.
Both are devious in their method. Only because our eyes are trained to see Shivagami as the hero and Vijala as the villain. Now I can write the same story by making Shivagami as the villain in this and Vijala as a hero, which I was banned from doing so when I was taken to the thing. I can write the same story like that. But you can never write that. So Mahadeva with Shivagami is very similar to Vijala. Very, very similar to Vijala. Only difference is she won it and he lost it out. Otherwise, she is equally ruthless.
And she had her
So,
vow to keep up. So I think that aggression was also. I shouldn't give away
yeah.
too much of the book again.
So, see, in history, only such people, that's what I use the character of Somadeva to tell.
Right.
What an idealist Katappa is. That's why he is a slave and I am the king.
Right.
So that's the irony of life. If you are a ruler and you are idealist, you may be lionized, but you won't survive. You will become Gandhi, but ultimately you will get shot. And whoever shoots them much later, they will try to change the history and try to portray the Gandhi also as the villain.
Right.
That's how history works.
That's true.
The victors write the story. So Gandhi will be like Mahadeva will be an idealist, revered and made a Mahatma. But ultimately the power will go to the person who is willing to kill, willing to create troubles, willing to create riots, willing to create whatever they please, irrespective of their political ideology or religious ideology. That is how the politics of power works.
Right.
So I'm not blaming anyone, but that is the reality. It's what are the dharma of the book? What is the purpose of the book? Books or any art form, it is to show the mirror to the society, and whatever warts you are finding, whatever deviations you are finding is the society's own. So how much a skill of a writer is how far he can polish the mirror and how well he or she can reflect the society when the society looks into it. Or at least that should be the dharma or the aim of the book. Whether you achieve it or not, it depends on your skills and an element of luck also, because every day you will not be inspired.
That's a beautiful perspective to keep, sir.
Thank you.
I'll take up a few audience questions. There are some really interesting ones. So, Lakshmi Nilima is asking, did each character in the Bahubali series have a meaning?
I wish to... Actually, every word should have a meaning. No, every sentence has a meaning, while let alone character. Every character, when I write, they represent something. They represent some aspect of, they have other aspects, but they have one particular aspect which is prominent in them with other aspects. So it's like a musical orchestra where this is the note which is being played for that character. So Gunduramu has a typical note. Shivagami has a typical note. So every character has a meaning, and every character I have tried to make them representative of somebody you see in life in and around. Through what I have seen through I'm not saying that that's a right thing, but circumstances make me as a writer or a reader. Similarly, the reader also will see the world or even read the book through the perspective in which they are grown up with.
Right.
Some books can alter perspectives also, but slightly. Mostly we read to confirm our beliefs.
That's true. I hope this answered your question, Lakshmi. There's another comment from Surya that says, best author, best person, Anand, sir.
Thank you so much.
A lot of people are asking, there are two people asking about which is going to be your next book now that the Bahubali series is complete.
I have lots of projects. I work on multiple projects because I am always haunted with writer's block. So how I deal with it is I stop wherever writer's block is there and go to the next book.
Okay.
And start thinking on that. So that I will end up in a writer's block, but by that time this note would have gone out. So now I have one in March. What is coming is an audiobook, which is a non-fiction one, which is my attempt. In Audible it is coming. It's many Ramayanas, many lessons. What I'm trying to say is to see Ramayana through different versions of Ramayana. So each incident I say, in a very simple word, I'm not a scholar, PhD scholar or anything. Whatever I read, I'm just trying. It's a 16-hour talk. So I talk, this is the perspective, this is what they are trying to do. In Bali, Ramayana, it is like this. In Malayalam, Ramayana, it is like this. This is what we can draw from our life. So that is a book which is coming soon. Already it is in the production stage. Then some other audio stories also is coming. Then next book will be one children's book also is getting ready. I had written one children's book called Asura Kids. Another one also I have completed and given in between. That is about an elephant
Wow.
which wants to fly.
That's so cute.
So it's a cute, humorous book for 8 to 10-year-old kids, but I hope adults also will like that. It gives me a lot of pleasure to write children's book because I can do anything, whatever I want with that. I can be a child. So that is coming. Then 2 shows are there, which is coming in OTT platforms, which I have finished. And one horror is coming soon, which I have started yesterday. Apart from the audiobook, one I finished day before yesterday. So yesterday I started one book, which is a horror thriller. Nothing to do with mythology. I just want to see how I'll write. I decided to harass all the readers by writing across genre. I will write humor, and I hope people will laugh at the right places and not at me. And horror, the thriller. Then there is a film which is in the last stages, pre-production. We are on pre-production. It's a big Hollywood film. Apart from Vanera, which is also becoming a film, on which also I'm working for screenplay. So lots of work.
All the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. And thank you always for the support that Sapna has given. The
We're
Kannada.
happy to be associated with you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
There
Any
are,
other question is there?
Yeah.
We can.
The prequel is only going to be an OTT series. Is there going to be a feature film to it?
It is, as of now, it is decided that it's a OTT series in Netflix because films cannot do justice to 3 books.
Right.
Whereas a series in the lines of Game of Thrones or The Last Kingdom or Crown or anything like that, which has around 60 hours of content. This book needs that. These 3 books, almost 1,600 pages, 500 pages, it needs that kind of treatment. Because when you convert it to screenplay, it will go much beyond that. 50, 60 hours it should go. 60 hours or 80 hours it will go. So it's 10 seasons. 7 seasons we are talking about. I don't know how many seasons, that's for the producers to decide. But these kind of books require that. So it cannot be a film.
Who is the woman that always backs Shivgami in movies? That's by Parnavi.
Who is the woman who will?
Who always backs Shivgami in the movies?
In the movie, I don't think Shivagami has become a loner by the time she reaches the powerful stage. There are not much of women if you really see, and which is true about many powerful women in real life also. How many powerful women in present day who have been country heads, states, chief ministers have close women friends? Maybe they have male sycophants, but not much of close women friends. That's a hard fact of life. You can see it in corporate world also many a times.
That's true. I think, Anand, lastly, I would just like to ask you one thing, and I'd like to tell all the viewers also this. This is something that we just found out. You had written the script of Bahubali. You'd written the manuscript of the book, and somebody had commented something, so you scratched that and you restarted the entire thing again. Is that true?
That's true.
Wow.
That is true.
What had happened?
See, what happens is many a times there are only few stories in the world.
Right.
Hardly you can count in your. Only how you tell it is important. Because Lion King, Bahubali, Othello, so many stories, Macbeth, so many stories are same, or Mahabharata. If you really go into the crux, they are the same. So when you write, there is a tendency, first you have to be a reader. So from 5 or 6 years I have been reading, and I'm 47 now, so that is like 40 years of reading, a lot of books influence you, a lot of films, thousands of films you would have seen, all these things influence you. And
Right.
when you write, these things will come into that. So whatever you are reading, every author has this problem. Every reader who tries to become an author will also have this problem. Many a times what happens, some people get lazy and let it go. I am kind of crazy, so even though there was a deadline and even though there was a lot of money riding on it, I thought that what the heck, I should not imitate it. Of course, there will be some similarity in any story will come, but I'll have to change it entirely. So by the time I reached the third book, even though there was some glimpses of some great books which I had read, by the end of third book, it has to be my own. So I will change everything in that.
Right.
So I rewrote many characters, changed many scenes, almost scratched the book and started from the beginning to do that. This kind of quirkiness or craziness is what defines the writer's insanity. No?
But
These
it
are
takes a lot
the
of
freedom.
dedication and courage to do that.
A lot of insanity also, a lot of craziness.
But I think at the end, we hope it just pays off and your series, wishes you and pays you really well.
Thank you so much. But once the book is over, that is over.
Okay.
You'll have to jump to the next book, jump to the next story, and think that you are yet to write the best. So these are all the practice for writing a masterpiece. Because once you write the best, then there is no writing. So it's a constant journey. And if you ask me in another 3-4 months, perhaps I will not even know many of the plot of it. Because I cannot dwell on what I have written, what is done. So I don't reread my books. I read other authors' books many times, read and reread it. But I never reread my books because you feel like scratching everything and writing it again. So you don't want to do that.
But
Thank you very much for the wishes.
Are you
Yeah?
someone who falls back and checks the success of the book and how
No,
your book is doing?
no.
Okay.
Mostly, initially when I was with Asura, I was obsessed with it. I used to visit each bookstall. But later, as this thing progressed, not that I'm not concerned with it, but I knew that it is not going to. So a lot of things go into making a book a commercial success or not. It's not in your hands. And you bring a book and Corona comes and all bookshops close. How do you sell the book? Because I am still a traditional man who prefer that you go to the bookstall, browse it, see it, and see the book, smell the book, and take it. Even though I
I was
read
just
in
going to
Kindle
say
and
that. Yeah.
so suddenly all the bookshops close. So 40-50% of your market is out. So there is no control into all these things. What you can do is, what I have found is, you write a book. If the content is good, it gets noticed. Maybe after 3 years, 4 years. Like Asura is reaching 10th year. Even now, in whichever language it has been published, it is still continuing to be a bestseller. So I don't want to have my book. I put up my book. First month, 1 month, it sells lakhs of copies, and after that, nobody remembers the book. I would rather prefer every month it goes 4,000, 5,000 copies across the country, and over a period of time, like Asura has now perhaps now overtaken most of the books in the country, but it took 10 years to do that. And maybe in 50 years, 40 years, if it continues this trend, maybe who knows, someone may call, okay, this is one of the good books written in that era. So that is the aspiration which I aspire to. So it is my kind of what you call ego or this thing that makes me perhaps not bother much about what is happening today. Once I have written, I move on, hoping that one day somebody will see this and at least one person will say, oh, what a work, let us make a film out of it or something out of it. All right.
A lot of people are already doing it right now, and as you said, your next plans, we see that coming into life very soon.
I hope so. But again, films, as you know, lot of things have to fall in place. A good book need not make a good film and vice versa.
That's true.
So as you write more, you understand that more than your talent, hard work and all, you have been very lucky. A lot of luck is there in all these things. For any artist or anyone who has got successful, somehow it fell in place. You're thankful for that. And you also know that one day or other these things will run out. So until then, make merry, enjoy life. Be a Ravana. Until Ram comes and kills you, be a Ravana.
Wow, that's some really good advice. So, any parting advice for future budding authors who want to take up the same genre as you?
I believe genre is unimportant. Story is important.
Right.
Rest all things. There are a lot of people who give great importance to the style of writing, the language of writing, and the poetry, in writing, and all those things, which is a very good thing. The literary works and all, and I enjoy reading them. But I am not a person who writes like that, because for me the story is important. So I can advise people only to concentrate on stories, because I don't know, as I said, English is an acquired language for me. It is not a natural language for me. So my English skill is not like that of many people who think in English. I still think in my mother tongue and then convert it to English and write. So story is important. Concentrate on stories is what, as Indians who are writing in English, my advice would be concentrate on stories, because if English is the good English is a criteria, then all college professors and PhDs will be great writers. It has English college professors and PhDs. Not that there aren't many, there are great many of them are. Concentrate on story, because if story is good, even if translation is not good, it will work in all languages. If you have fantastic English, a translator cannot even translate it so beautifully, and you are concentrating on that, the translations won't work. Like all my books have gone into 15, 16 languages, including Indonesian. And done pretty well there, because story is important. If I have had a lyrical language, so as I said, I'm lucky that I didn't have the opportunity to have English as my first language, and I come from a very rural background and learned English later. So I'm lucky that my English is simple, and that's so that people can understand, easily translatable both to screen and to this thing. So this is all chance working on it. No, so if I had grown up in a metro and all my relatives and parents, they were all speaking in English, like many of my kids are now. They know only English as a major language. They are unfortunate, if you ask me. So my advice is, please concentrate on the story. The rest of the things you can add. You can have good language, of course, yes, but story is the key.
So thank you so much for this golden advice, and thank you so much for your time. From all of us at Sapna Book House, we wish you all the best for this book, for the series, and for all your future projects.
Thank you very much, and my request is continue to support me like you have been doing by giving me. This is a salesman in me speaking, by giving me good display space and recommending my books to all the readers who tell them that if you like the book, please, this could be a good book for you to be entertained and learn something perhaps.
We'll always do that, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your
time. Thank you to all the audience who have graced this. Thank you so much. Please do read my books, and lots of other books of other authors also. So many great authors are around. Please do read. Continue to read books apart from other entertainment options. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was Anand, and we were in discussion with him for the book Queen of Mahishmati. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed today's session.